Ethos of Silence.
A veteran podcast aims to amplify the voices of veterans, creating a safe space for authentic conversations about their experiences, challenges, and triumphs. We seek to break the stigma surrounding mental health and foster community support, resilience, and understanding. Through storytelling, expert insights, and candid discussions, we strive to inspire healing, promote awareness, and empower veterans on their journeys.
Welcome.
Yeah, but when war comes, you admire our artwork like the Mona Lisa.
I do. I have a great admiration for your work over in Iraq.
All right.
Very nice.
So I got a couple segments I want to jump into and get just a couple segments down, all right?
Okay.
All right. So check it out. In the pilot, everybody listened to the pilot so far, huh?
It looks like I've listened to it.
All right, so my brother-in-law is a mind my half brother. He's a mind wizard. He works in academia. He pointed out to me that the word broken, even though we use the word broken pretty loosely in the military, that hey, it's jacked up, it's all messed up, it's broken, it needs to be fixed, right? Broken is a negative term, but I still like the word broken because it amplifies the fact that we have something that needs to be fixed, right? So when you're describing the fact that you're broken, you know, I counted a couple ways. Like, it's easy to tell when you're physically broken, when you physically can't go. When in the middle of a shark attack, your ankle done twisted so you can't pass swim call. Physically broken, right?
Yep.
All right. And then, but the difference is like your foundation. So if you're spiritually broken, that's hard to come back from, right? So you're raised young, you know, you've got this solid foundation. Maybe it's a little shaky, maybe some things happen that make you question it, right? But mentally broken is what I'm talking about in the silence and how to repair that. Yeah,
there's two definitive sides to the broken part of a soldier.
Yeah,
that we can get into. Yeah,
I mean the physical aspects of being broken, we've got that's simple.
Yeah, we can run through that, and that's going to be probably most of the people we talk to, especially anybody in 0304, didn't have anything to eat, et cetera, et cetera. Spiritual side, we've got to assess that side. That's going to be coming. We're going to see what parts of those spiritual side that they've started with, or like you've assessed, has come from the beginning of when they were a kid, and what reflected from when they got into the military and made that worse or better.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. The with the broken though, right? So being broken mentally, we need to look at it as an opportunity instead of a bad thing, right? So whenever the only thing everybody knows about AA that never been through AA is the first step is admitting that you have a problem, right? Mm-hmm. So admitting to yourself that you're broken and you need to utilize resources to better yourself is the first step toward fixing everything. And right. Broken isn't a bad place. Broken's not a bad word. Broken is acknowledging the fact that you have things that you know you need to work on.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like in the military, you know, there's another wicket along the way. There's always something we can do to better ourselves, right? We're always trying to get that higher score so we get promoted faster. We're always trying to get to this next course and graduate at the top of that course so we can go to the next course and the next course and the next course. We need to look at our mental health, right? And being able to repair that as that exact thing. It's nothing worth getting is instant. And we live in an instant society, so it makes you frustrated whenever it's the one thing that you feel if it was better, you'd be better off.
Well said. Absolutely. Yeah, you feel abandoned when that immediate kind of healing doesn't come. I get that for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. What we got? Oh, man, we only 4 minutes into this.
That's it, just 4.
You got something on broken, Derrick?
Bring it closer. Yeah.
Not really.
Not really?
Robert, what about you? Got any broken?
You got something to throw in here on broken?
It's according how deep we want to get.
Well,
go for it.
Deep as you want to get, you know.
I'll tell you, broken. You know, I spent almost 42 years in the military.
Okay.
So I'd say relationship-wise, I'm broken.
Oh yeah, by far.
And you know, it's hard for people,
Yeah.
family, and others to figure out what we've gone through and how you do it.
Oh, definitely.
So, you know, I've been married 3 times, divorced 3 times, got 4 children. I try to do my best to stay in contact, but I don't call as much as I should be. And you know, something that's really sad this year was the first time in my life I forgot all 4 of their birthdays. So, you know, that was kind of hard hitting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I bet that is.
But relationship wise, you know, in the military, and I think the one thing too, which all of us have dealt with, deployed and stuff, and then when you got soldiers or Marines under you, and you're sending them out, they're doing things, and you're hoping your plans are right.
Sure,
Because you
yeah.
don't want them to get hurt or killed. So you kind of create an environment, a personal environment of separation. I got to make those calls. Yeah, I know Joe, but I still got to make that call to send him out to do this or that. So you have that point of separation. So when you get back home, you start doing that with your family because you're like, you know, I don't want to get too close because I don't want to get hurt if something happens.
Of course.
And, you know, that kind of tears you up. And then, you know, people's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But it's easier, too, at that point when somebody gets, you know, a little agitated or whatever with you. It's easier to stop, drop, and walk away because you don't want to deal with it because all the stuff the trauma you've experienced.
Well, you don't want to add another trauma to your belt.
That's
If,
right.
if you're able to get away from dealing with it, you'd rather not deal with it because you don't want to add another thing that could have been handled incorrectly by you. You already handle so many things. You have so many balls you're juggling all at once, right?
Yeah.
And I found it by myself. I mean, you can even tell now all the things I do is I like having a lot of balls in the air so that I have multiple opportunities to be successful. I mean, if you give me more than 3 strikes, I tell you what, I'm gonna definitely hit some home runs.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got 42 years of how you're dealing with what a normal person's going to process to do it. Now you're dealing with your family, and this is the way you've been doing it. A normal soldier in the military, that you have a way you're going to deal with it, and you know the way. So that's got to be compounding. So to relearn to what to do with your family. Nobody can understand it. You've had 42 years of a great big responsibility in this country.
And the relearning,
To the country.
And, you know, relearning at 60 years old, 61 years old.
Come on.
hard to do.
Yeah.
Come on.
So,
My heart's with you, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about learning, huh?
Yeah.
That one hits home.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, it's when we thank our veterans, well, aren't we thanking our veterans' families too?
yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
they're the part of that. They're in the trenches with us.
And they
And-
suffer.
yeah.
They suffer.
Oh.
Like we come back home with this, and they don't understand. I remember when I first got back with my twins. I think they were 6 or 7 years old at the time, and I remember they were doing something. One of I think it was Jack was doing something, and I had a flash in my head. He was getting hurt. He was going to get hurt doing it. And I did what you're talking about. What are you doing? Like, that scared the kids to death. You know, it's
Yeah.
just trying to...
Oh, I still have that. I still have that personal problem completely of
Sorry, you
of,
just-
of raising my voice and getting into
Yeah.
the fact of
Yeah, you just gave
a
me a
nature of
flashback.
talking to somebody and talking to my kids that way,
Yeah.
and it is it's a problem, and it is one of those malfunctions that I don't think will ever actually be fixed. I think it's something that, you know, through establishing a relationship with my kids and establishing a relationship with my wife, they can understand why I have such a tone and take such a huge gravity to a situation,
Right.
and they can grant me the grace because they understand it. And that's where fixing yourself, you'll never be 100% fixed. What you're going to do is you're going to have to surround yourself with people a room, a table, a group, just like this, to where you can communicate, and you communicate with your loved ones, and they can show you the grace to be able to continue to excel. But you have to, the same as we were trying to get our PFT scores up and maintain everything else, you have to constantly try and maintain and work on yourself.
Yep.
To just make sure that you take care of the people around you. I mean, we've worked so hard to build the empires that we have. Why would we let them crumble? Because we can't suck up our pride to have a conversation.
I think you hit it the nail on the head there about us coming together, being in a group and talking. Because I'd rather sit here and talk with people that have some of the same experience than going to, your counselor in mental health and stuff that they send us to. Because, maybe some of them have had experience, but they haven't. But I get more of a fulfillment from sitting around like with
my eyes have seen some of the things you had at your counselors, and you got a good point. 90, I wouldn't say 90, but 50% of the counselors, they don't even know what you're talking about, but you're thinking in your head they're going to check a box that goes, well, yep, he's crazy, or just throw a bunch of pills at him, and that's not what we want. No. You want to be better and move on. Fix me so I can be fixed to get back out there. Right. They don't have a good way of fixing people.
No, well, and
not soldiers.
I think they do the best they can.
Yeah.
I think they work. They're dedicated to help and get us where we need to be, but they don't have that bridge to do that.
See, and I'm hoping that with all the organizations we're involved in and everything we do extra, that we can start to create that bridge and help that happen, help build a community. I hope this builds a community. I hope this inspires other people to build their own communities to help each other.
Let's talk about it.
Because if we don't help each other, we're failing.
That's right.
And it comes down to that. If we don't help each other, we definitely failed somewhere.
Exactly. It's like, on active duty, we were all connected. The fire team, the squad, the platoon, the company, and we all worked together. And if we seen somebody in pain, we were there. Mm-hmm. But we give them hell like we do each other. We give them hell, but we were a family and we worked together. A lot of people don't understand that in veterans.
Yeah.
And I think we have a hard time accepting that because we come from a team type society.
Yeah.
Where we're all there 24/7. An employer in the civilian world don't have to worry about his or her employee getting a traffic ticket or being too loud in their quarters. We did.
Very well.
It comes down to we've all had our little birds that we've had to deal with, right? But we know that whenever we actually go to a combat zone, we're going to have to require that little bird to assist and do things. So we find what they are able to do, even if it's the fact of going pick up food for everybody and doing this or doing this, even if it is the very bare minimal tasking. But whatever they do that makes everybody run more effective as a unit is what we do. And you miss that because in a civilian world, basically they kick that person to the curb and he goes, and then you just show up, do your 9 to 5 and go home. It's like you don't want any extra responsibilities. There's I don't see any extra profit, any extra thing whenever I don't see an extra stock price or anything like that whenever my company ships out a little extra soot and makes some extra tires. I don't see anything. I only want to do my job good enough to make sure that I don't get fired and that the company continues to make money so I can come back and get another paycheck, right? In the military, you have pride in what you're doing. You feel like there's a purpose behind what you're doing. And then also you're preparing the people around you to go to war. Exactly. And we've been to war. So we have a little bit of an extra emphasis on that preparing part because we know what we're about to mentally prepare people to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because we're taught no matter what type of person we get into our organization, we're going to have to make them part of the team and help develop them to be part of the team. You don't see that in the civilian world.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to adjust to, right? You walk on your base and everybody has that same mentality. Somebody or somewhere in their life in the military has been working with them, like you said. You get in the real world, it's hit or miss, and you miss that. You want to give that to each person outside that same respect, but it's not there, and it could be very frustrating. And it can be easily set up to put that kind of trust that we put in our teams in a person out on the street. You miss it. You totally miss it. They say that in the military that, on the flag, the part of the white stands for the purity of it. And there's a beauty in that part of the military that purifies our hearts to be that close to it. There's no other place or no other job skill that gets that. I mean, I'm sure firefighters and police officers, they got that.
They're pretty tight.
They're pretty close.
So to stay with Broken and to wrap up Broken real quick, right?
Yeah.
So to wrap up Broken, I want our entire community that we're building, right? We're going to build this Facebook community page. We're going to build a Discord community page. I want, some actual questions for us to kind of dig into as a community and be able to sit down and look at and discuss next time we jump into a Broken segment, so that we can do a Broken 2.0. Broken 1.0 is addressing the fact that, hey, look, this is what we mean by broken. This is what it is. If anybody out there, anybody listening, has a comment, has a direction that they think taking Broken or just answering a question would help, right? Because we're just hanging out, sitting on the couch, enjoying a beautiful Wednesday in the middle of the week, right? And I'm glad that we're able to dive into serious topics and talk serious. And I want to try and find the resources, because they're out there. And there's people who are dedicated toward providing us those resources. And I'd like to make them known to everybody and try and figure out how to build this community, grassroots.
Yep. We now have a moment of silent prayer for those still in the battle, for our departed comrades, for those missing in action, and for those held as prisoners of war.